It didn't really help me with trying to fund my first film being a recognised face, because I wasn't a recognised face at the time. So it was done at the time that Phoenix Nights, the first series, had just been made. And we had done the Peter Kay thing, but it didn't really, in that respect, it does now. It does now, because it can break an awkward silence, if you like. If I go and meet people now for finance, or I'm chatting about ideas, it helps if they know who you are, because it's nice. It's a conversation piece, really, I suppose. And because of my history with Phoenix Nights and stuff, I guess if I was to submit a script, it will go to the right people quicker, I think, in that respect, just simply because of the body of work I've done beforehand. So in that respect it does now, but at the time it didn't. It was just a case really of Going Off Big Time came about with the finance at a time when a tax plan that was in place in this country seemed too good to be true, and ultimately became too good to be true. But we managed to get, the producer managed to get finance in place off the back of a very generous tax break. I think the most obvious thing is time constraints, because if you're writing, for instance, a half-hour TV piece, if it's commercial TV, it's even less. It's 24, 25 minutes, because you have to put adverts in. Or if it's a BBC piece, it would be about 26, 27 minutes, maybe 28. If you imagine that they've got to be really self-contained within that time, that brings a lot of constraints. So you have to write in a different style, really. You have to... Often they have A, B and C stories, or A and B stories. You have your A story, which is your main theme through the episode, and then you have incidental B and C stories that go with it. If it's a half hour, you may only get an A and B story, really. Whereas with a feature film, I mean, you just have time to be subtle and to put little things in, the little nuances in, or little storyline things that can take the time to sort of blossom and to grow, really. So it's a completely different medium, it really is, and there are different disciplines to it. It doesn't necessarily mean one's better than the other, but personally, I enjoy different things about the different disciplines. I enjoy the idea of trying to be really sharp and funny quickly, but equally I also enjoy taking your time with a piece and letting it kind of, letting it grow. So, well, I've used comedians in both of my films. In Going Off Big Time, we had Peter Kay. And in Charlie Node's R.I.P., we had a few. We had John Thompson, Dave Spikey. I think it all depends on their timing and what they bring to the piece. I've worked also with stand-up comedians who grew really impatient with the filming process, because they're used to the immediacy of telling jokes, getting paid and going home. Whereas you would put them in front of a camera, and then when you're changing camera positions, they'd be saying, I've done it. So that can present problems because of the lack of technical ability. But if you hit it right and you get an actor who's got acting experience, who is a comic, then they can be fantastic, because they know they have instinctive comic timing. They can also go off script in a clever way and bring their own little influences to it that will make the script better. You have to have a real dogged determination to do it. You have to do it for the right reasons as well. If you want to get into filmmaking because you have some mad, grandiose idea that's going to make you a millionaire, then just stop it and go and do the lottery. Because it's a passion. It has to be something that you really want to do, because there are so many hurdles that you will have to overcome to get to the point where you make the film. But as someone who's taken his parents to the Cannes Film Festival, who are working class parents, when you sit down and the lights go down, the immense feeling of self-satisfaction and of the achievement you've done, it's worth it. It's worth every single stumbling block and hurdle and nightmare and palpitation, and I've had all of them. But you ultimately put something down for life. It'll always be there, and it's something that you can see has gone from a blank page to this wonderful piece of work, even if other people don't think it's wonderful. So my tip would be to just keep at it. It's not easy. It's never meant to be easy, or everyone would be doing it. Just have the belief in your ability, and don't take no for an answer, and you have to take risks. If you don't take risks, then you're never going to make the film.